police have told us that because she's 16, even if they find her, they can't make her come home. We want to know she's okay. Yeah. We don't know if our kid's okay.
That was Tammy Poil, mother of missing person Trinity Poil, who was only 16 when she left in the middle of the night during a snowstorm. Is there something that we can do to help Tammy and her husband, Trinity's stepfather Patrick, find some answers in this case? It's time to turn on the searchlight. Hey everyone, John Lorden here. Thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Brainscratch Searchlight. Before we get into Trinity's case today, I just want to let you know next week's going to be a little weird. Next week is the Cold Case Conference. I will be presenting there with Tim and Lance from Crawl Space, as well as Mike Morford, one of my co-hosts on 3 Men and a Mystery. So the release schedule for next week, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a video out for Wednesday, so there might be no video. I'm trying to get something done for you guys, but I'm not 100%. Monday, we will have episode 3 of 3 Men and a Mystery, which I highly recommend you guys check out. We take a bit of a turn with the investigation. We get some things cleared up in episode 3. And then Friday, that should be April 19th at 10 a.m. Central Time. We're going to do a live stream here on the channel. It's been a while since I've done a live stream. I don't do them a whole lot, so I really hope that many of you can join us. Yeah, that is April 19th, 10 a.m. Central. And basically, I'm going to be talking about the Cold Case Conference, what I saw, what I learned, all that kind of good stuff. So I hope you will join me there. Back to the case at hand. Here is a photo of Tammy and Trinity together, and let's learn a little more about where this case takes place. Starting at Wikipedia, Petawawa is the name of the town. It's a town located in an eastern portion of southern Ontario, situated in the Ottawa Valley with a population of over 17,000 people. Petawawa is the most populous municipality in Renfrew County, and there's a good reason for that. Petawawa's primary employer is the Canadian government. Most of Petawawa's residents work as civilian employees or as members of the Canadian Forces. And you may have noticed in the video we started this episode with that Trinity's stepfather, Patrick, is actually in uniform. He works at the base there. It is called Garrison Petawawa, which brings up some interesting questions about this disappearance we're going to touch on as we continue. But let's start with the missing poster about Trinity. We can see some photos of her here. 6'1", approximately 240 pounds, brown hair and hazel eyes. Last seen wearing a black jacket with purple lining, a black toque. For those in the U.S. that might not be familiar, a toque is essentially a beanie, but this beanie in particular has cat ears, and gray boots with fur trim. Believed to have left her home on Cleve between 10 p.m. and 4:20 a.m. And that time frame is essentially coming from when the parents last knew for sure she was at home and when one of them discovered that something was wrong. Essentially, her stepfather got up in the middle of the night. He thinks that he heard a toilet flush around midnight, and then he got up later around 4 and noticed that her door was open, which is kind of strange. She has 2 younger brothers. She really doesn't like to keep the door open. So that's when they're assuming somewhere in there is when she left. Now, the last time they saw her for sure was when she went to bed. I believe she actually went to bed at 9, but they went to bed at 10. So they feel pretty confident about that time frame, somewhere between 10 p.m. and 4:20 a.m. On the night of February 12th, going into the morning of February 13th, 2019. So obviously we're now looking at this a few months later, and big cause for concern because that particular night there was a huge snowstorm that was going on in the area. I think they got over 20 inches of snow. So definitely some big cause for concern here, but it does appear this is a runaway situation. However, there's some details that don't even quite fit that. So let's continue here. Now, there's one thing I want to touch on real briefly. A few of the threads that I've seen talking about this case, one of them kind of stated that Trinity is transgender, but I can't find any source of proof for that. In terms of looking for a missing person, I think a detail like that is important, but like I said, I can't confirm it, so I don't know if it's certainly true or not. But let's go ahead and continue with some of the articles here and find out why there's another very big cause for concern in this case over at missingkidsalert.ca. This is not just a typical runaway situation. Trinity is in the autism spectrum. Police and family are very concerned for Trinity's safety and well-being. So what is really concerning about that is the information that has come out from her family is she's really into video games. She's also into programming, but it seems like her social life was very much geared towards virtual relationships that are happening through video game platforms. So the possibility that she could have been convinced to leave her home, that there might even be some type of grooming situation going on here, is very real and a very serious possibility, particularly with her really not having any means of leaving on her own, leaving during a snowstorm like that, and then just disappearing. She took no personal possessions: phone, laptop, medication, clothes, bank card, cash, etc. Now, that's something that I'm concerned about in particular, because in a traditional runaway situation, you figure that someone's going to at least take things to be able to take care of themselves to some level. But if this is a situation where she may be groomed as well, it could be that the person that is doing the grooming or the person that is arranging to go pick her up is telling her to leave all that stuff behind. Another big point of concern here is she has medication that she needs to take. Tammy is not very certain that Trinity even knows what the names of her medications are. So we're looking at a situation where Trinity is likely not taking medication that she should be taking. On top of that, no cash, no bank card. So some of that for me personally is pointing towards a situation where she was told, don't worry about that stuff. Don't take any of that stuff. You know, I'm going to get you all new stuff. Come along with me. Just come out to the car and I'll pick you up and we'll go from there. Which is still a very, very scary situation. But this is a little different than some of the typical runaway type scenarios that we've covered here on the channel previously. The police have found nothing of significance on her laptop and phone and have no solid leads to her whereabouts. Another point that is really troubling, because you would think if there was some type of grooming situation or she's been communicating with someone online, there should be traces of that found, in particular maybe on her laptop and or her phone. I don't know if her family is essentially trusting this analysis by the police. It seems like they're trying to raise funds, and one of the things that they want to raise funds for is, I believe, an independent review of her electronics to dig a little deeper and to see if there might be something in there that was missed. On February 18th, Trinity's mom, Tammy, shared a message on the Missing Trinity Poil Facebook page. Trinity is an amazing young woman. She is funny and creative and caring. She spent most of her time playing and developing video games online. She also enjoys writing stories, drawing, or making up puzzles and riddles. Her smile was infectious, and her excitement over anything she enjoyed, no matter how small, would worm its way into everyone's hearts. She has 2 younger brothers who miss her terribly. We are beside ourselves with grief. We keep hoping today is the day she will walk through that door. We hope wherever she is safe, loved, and warm. We won't stop looking. I want to stop on this image real quick because here is a picture of the type of toque or beanie that she was wearing, as well as the boots that she had. So pretty important images there. On February 19th, military police coordinated a search of the woods and river surrounding the family home by Ottawa Valley Search and Rescue Dog Association, a not-for-profit group out of Ottawa. The search turned up nothing, leading the family to believe she is not in the area. Now, I started this episode with that particular video clip because I also wanted to point out that the family really has no mechanism to force Trinity to come home. Apparently, from what they're saying, at the age of 16, you can be on your own in Canada legally. So essentially, I just wanted to point that out so that Trinity, if you happen to watch this, just know there's nothing that can force your family to take you somewhere where you don't want to go. They just want to know that you're happy and you're healthy and you're doing okay. So Trinity, if you do happen to see this, please reach out to them. Let them know. You can call your own cell phone to get a hold of them and let them know that you're okay. Continuing with another article at ottawacitizen.com. This one is from March 2nd, 2019. We have absolutely no idea where she could possibly be or who she could be with. No information whatsoever, said family spokesperson Tracy Service. We need to know she's okay. Now, if you look into the articles and the Facebook page on this, you're going to see Tracy all over the place. She is working very hard as the family spokesperson, trying to keep attention raised to this case. We're going to learn a little bit more about how she knows Trinity as we continue, but I just wanted to give a big thank you to Tracy for being there and for stepping up and for doing this, because I know this is tough on families, and when they have someone else that can help them with this kind of stuff, it's really, really huge for them. So thank you for doing that. Searchers have started to distribute car magnets with Poil's picture so that taxi drivers, bus passengers, and others might take notice. What a great idea. I don't know that I've heard about car magnets being used necessarily in cases before, so I wanted to share that as well, just for other families that might be going through a similar situation. Another article from Ottawa Citizen, March 29th, 2019. Trinity Poil's family celebrated her 17th birthday on Thursday without her. Hopefully we can celebrate with her if she comes home tonight or tomorrow, said Trinity's mother, or the next minute, or the next hour. I don't sleep a lot anymore, said her stepfather, Patrick Reddick, a corporal in the 2nd Service Battalion at Garrison, Petawawa. I'm waking up to every little sound, hoping the door will open and she'll just walk in. The last sign of Trinity was the trail of footprints she left in the heaviest snowfall of the winter, steps that led down the driveway, then were swept away by passing snowplow. Now, did the family have any foresight into Trinity disappearing like this? According to this article, there had been no arguments. Patrick and Trinity had spent the night before playing video games in the basement. She seemed herself with no sign of unhappiness or worry. And here's a picture of Tracy that's been working so hard for the family on this case. Because the family lives in military housing, Trinity's disappearance is being handled by the military police. Now, this article says with support from the OPP, and previously the OPP, their contact information was on the flyers that were going out. I've seen on the Facebook page that they're asking specifically not to contact the OPP, and they're saying it could actually risk the case by delaying the information. So in the description box below, I've only got 2 numbers specifically for the military police, and another number if you want to submit anonymous information, and that's it. So just a quick note, don't reach out to the OPP for this particular case. Police have organized ground searches of the base and the riverfront, had Trinity's phone and laptop examined by the military's National Investigation Service, and contacted Tammy's ex-husband, who raised Trinity from ages 3 to 14, as well as Trinity's biological father. Nothing. She had never left home before. Her life revolves around computers and video games like Cuphead and Undertale. Her social contacts were in gaming communities on Twitch, Steam, and Discord, online networks where she found the friends she couldn't make in real life. I told her over and over and over again that people on the internet aren't always who you think they are, Tammy said. She said all her friends are online, but I said you need friends you can go hang out with too. But it just never happened. Did she wander off and get lost in the blizzard? Did she get picked up by someone she'd met online? Is she hanging out in someone's basement, immersed in the online world, oblivious to her distraught family and the passage of time? On the night of Tuesday, February 12th, Trinity went to bed as she usually did around 9 p.m., closing her bedroom door behind her. Patrick woke up sometime after midnight to the sound of the toilet flushing, then again at 4 a.m. to deal with a sick dog. He noticed Trinity's door was cracked open but thought nothing of it. At breakfast, Trinity wasn't at the table with her 2 brothers, ages 5 and 11. Calls to Trinity's cell phone went straight to voicemail. Tammy pinged the phone's locator. I heard it in the basement, she said. That's when I started to panic because she never goes anywhere without her cell phone. Trinity left with whatever clothes she was wearing. Patrick spent that day, February 13th, patrolling the roads. He checked at the bus station and Tim Hortons. Snow closed Valor K-12 school, where Trinity is in grade 11, but Tracy Service, Trinity's education assistant and closest friend, went inside to search classrooms. Trinity had trouble dealing with other students, and service helped her to understand the difference between a simple disagreement and true bullying, which Trinity sometimes faced. Academically, Trinity's grades were in the 90s, especially in classes that involved screen time. She taught herself to program in Java, C++, and HTML. As a matter of fact, her stepfather, Patrick, in an interview says that he believes educationally, she's actually at the college level. When it comes to socially and kind of the street smarts aspect, I guess you would say, she is quite a bit underdeveloped. And he even described that, if you asked her to go fishing or to put together a garden or something like that, that she could not really complete those tasks without step-by-step instructions. They've plastered missing posters everywhere they can. They printed and distributed hundreds of car magnets. They've installed a security system at their home that will instantly alert them if Trinity shows up at the door. They're raising money through a GoFundMe campaign to pay for more posters and magnets and to have a more detailed private forensic analysis done of Trinity's electronics, which they hope might hold a clue to her disappearance. The family's hope is that Trinity has been lured away by someone she met online. Kind of bizarre to say that in a case, wow, I hope that someone actually lured her away. But I think when you're looking at the alternatives in this case, that is one of the better outcomes. I mean, for her to have left in the middle of a snowstorm like that is very dangerous in itself. And could lead to a lot of really, really bad outcomes. Honestly, being lured away by someone could also have some bad outcomes, but I understand that they're keeping their eye on hope, and I totally get that, and of course I support that. She's very quick to trust. She wants so badly to have friends and fit in that I think she would be easily coerced. Someone could have said, come over to my place and we'll play video games or work on a project, and she might actually do it, Tammy said. If she's out there somewhere and she's happy and she doesn't want to come home, we don't want to make her come home. If she's happy and okay, we just have to know that. Is there any chance that Trinity might have been caught on surveillance video of some kind? There is a chance. Let's jump over to an article at thetelegram.com and learn more about it. Parents hopeful, and this one is posted April 1st, 2019. The video image is blurry. Just an indistinct black line, really, caught on the security camera at the front gate of Garrison, Petawawa around 5 a.m. on February 13th. The figure seems to walk along Festubert Boulevard in the heavy snow that fell that night, then lingers for a while beside the Royal Canadian Legion before disappearing from view. Let's take a look at a map together and try to make some sense out of some of this. So here's Garrison, Petawawa. And if we zoom in a little more, this is the front gate. This is where I believe the camera is that potentially spotted her. Now, Trinity's family lived over here on Cleve Avenue, I believe close to Paardeberg Boulevard, if I remember correctly, so somewhere around here. So it is certainly possible that Trinity could have gone up to Festubert Boulevard, taken that to Menin Road, and that's where the footage happens. And it sounds like they're saying that she might have walked past the Royal Canadian Legion, so heading south here. And that might make sense because most of the city services are down here. All the restaurants, all that stuff is down here. So if there was something she was going towards in particular, very good chance it would be down here. She really couldn't go north because she would probably be stopped at the gate. Potentially could have continued west, but not much out there. I guess there's one cafe, but nothing like the services that are down here. So even if someone did arrange to pick her up in some way, I think the likelihood would have been that it would have been in Petawawa down here. But let's go ahead and continue with this article. Now, what about her video game accounts? How are those being looked into or monitored at this point? Trusted friends have been monitoring the sites in case Trinity's accounts become active, but the family has not revealed Trinity's user names. We don't want them to be hacked and have someone go online and posing as her because unfortunately there are people who will do that, Tammy said. Our goal is to find her and if she comes home to resume life as normally as possible. And I think Tammy's making a very good point. It is unfortunate and we see it in case after case. There are some people that do terrible things that essentially hurt the families that are in these situations. So I'm glad that they're being safe about that. Military police visited the home on the weekend, collecting DNA samples from Trinity's comb, toothbrush, and clothing. The DNA will be uploaded to the RCMP missing persons database if Trinity is still missing after 6 months. Military police have searched 100% of the base, said Lieutenant Ann Cote, a public affairs officer with Garrison Petawawa, but have little new information to release about their investigation. Reddick, Trinity's stepfather, his Army comrades have chipped in as well, raising money for the search and offering support to the family. Aircrew on Petawawa's helicopter squadrons have also promised to keep a lookout from the sky. It's an unofficial search, but they say they'd be watching, Poil said. It's reassuring every time I hear a helicopter overhead. So unfortunately, that's it for most of the information in this case. There's a couple of discussion threads on this, one at Reddit, one at Web Sleuths. I'll have links to those in the description box below. In the links down below, you'll also find the Facebook page, and there's also a Facebook group. I'm going to include both of those down there. And on top of all that, of course, the GoFundMe. As of today, they've raised $1,520. They're looking for a goal of $10,000. Once again, on behalf of my amazing supporters on PayPal and Patreon, we are going to be donating to this GoFundMe just as soon as I'm done filming this video. So what's going on here, Brain Scratchers? Seems like a runaway situation, but Trinity is not taking things typically that someone might need if they were running away. Is there someone that met up with Trinity, possibly has taken her to some other location? That's what I think is important about getting this video out on a format where it can be viewed anywhere in the world. We have no idea where Trinity could be at this point. Could Trinity still be in Canada? Could Trinity have been brought across the border to the US, somewhere else? I don't know. So we really need to raise the exposure on this case, keep our eyes, ears, and hearts open. And hopefully someone out there has a piece of the puzzle that can help Trinity's family. And if that person is you, please use the description box down below. Contact information is in there. You can even remain anonymous if you want. Before I end today's video, I have to thank many new patron and PayPal supporters. And I really appreciate it, guys, because I know I've said it in previous videos. I really have trouble asking for help like this. YouTube has really been nailing me on demonetization lately. And you guys have really been stepping up, and it's really moving. It's supporting me in a way where I've never felt supported like this before. I'm just simply asking for help, and you guys are stepping up, and it just means the world to me. So let me start by talking about PayPal support. Thank you to Amanda Bateman. Thank you to Kimberly Gourlay. Thank you to Sean Biddle, and thank you to Ying Lin for making donations through PayPal. If you want to do the same, you can do all of that over at www.lordandarts.com. You can sign up for PayPal, Patreon, you can buy merchandise, you can buy the audiobook, all kinds of different ways that you can support the channel here. On top of that, monthly contributors through PayPal. Thank you, Jennifer Wilson, Michael Park, Mark Witt, who just set up a new automatic payment system. Thank you so much, Mark. And Hillary Green. Thank you, thank you, thank you. On top of that, I also had several patrons that increased their pledges. So I want to give a very quick thank you to Katie Alosi, Marie Conant, Kelly Surfling, Barb Riffy, Helen Dickey, Randy, and Brandy Restina. Thank each and every one of you for supporting the channel, helping to keep me here doing what I love doing, helping me help families like we are going to do in this case today. I can't do it without you guys, and I really appreciate having you there. Take care, everyone. I'll see you back here on Friday with a brand new episode of Brain Scratch.